So we're going to do something new here. Hopefully this works out. Filmic Pro test for the iPhones, where I could do 2 cameras at once. So hopefully we could just continue doing this. I think this is the wide. I'm not too sure if this is the ultra wide. I can't remember. But it can film me and what I'm looking at. So this is going to be a short test, and then we're going to continue on the tour like this later on in other tours. But with this one right here, I've already filmed prior, and finally they fixed this app after I got finished filming today. So I'll do a few things. I don't think there's any stabilization, so it could be shaky, as you could see. So let me know how this looks. Now I can look at myself. I don't know how to really edit something like this. You can see the pink flowers, the flat leaf peach, but you're gonna notice a lot of it or see a lot of it in the tour. But let me know in the comment section below if you like this and if you want me to continue future videos this way so you can see me and see Lulu. Oh, this must be the ultra wide. You see how my hand's stretched out? So this is the ultra wide lens. So really cool stuff, huh, guys? It's gonna change. 2020 is the year. I had to swipe up the screen for a comment, a YouTube comment. I'll answer it later. I gotta start doing some more videos of the front too. So this tour that you're gonna see right now is going to be in the backyard and side yard again, but we had a lot of changes. So enjoy it. Hey, Lulu, come here. Lulu, come on, let's do face. Let's ultra wide and then face. You see how that worked? Ultra wide Lulu, selfie Lulu. Hello everybody, this is Moses from Zaatar Gardens. A lot different today than last week. Last week throughout California we hit high mid 80s, some places were low 90s, even on the coast. I think Los Angeles was 92. Here was about 83, Central California, Zone 9B. And now I think it's 50 degrees. It just really cooled off. So I know that's still pretty warm for a lot of people watching maybe, compared to, heavy snow or whatnot. But the thing is, we went from 83 to 50, as in the morning, 83 high and 50 in the morning. And that really changes. God, there's so many planes fly around here. That really changes your mindset on what to wear for the day. So, like I mentioned in my community page on YouTube, if you're following me, if you're subscribing, please subscribe. That's actually the first time I've actually said it myself. Usually my son does it at the end. But please subscribe because I do a lot in the community page and on Instagram. So any of my subscribers that aren't on Instagram, head over there because I post a lot on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. I just post all of them constantly, 10 to 20 times a day on all of them. Except TikTok, maybe once or twice a day max. So I'm going to be doing another tour. I'm going to do more of this. Like I mentioned in the community page, I did a poll on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube community. Overwhelmingly, it was a yes that people want long form videos. So because of that, I'm going to not edit as much, because that's a lot of work to edit, almost an hour of video, cutting it down to half an hour. So I'd rather just try to stick to half an hour and do a lot less editing. And it was just overwhelmingly, it was 97% yes. So I asked, you spoke or clicked, and I'm answering. Right, Lulu? Lulu, you're never going to get a squirrel, I don't think. Even the dog before you, Tuvi, didn't get a squirrel. She almost got one once. It almost ran right towards me, up my leg, and my dog went crazy. So here is a new, I don't plant everything from seed. Hence the basil or the in the way it should be pronounced, basil. But here's the basil where I purchase it. It's organic, as organic it can be, or what they say it is. Who knows how they still grow it? But regardless, it's organic. The reason why I buy some plants like tomatoes, which I'm not going to do this year, or cucumbers, which I'm not going to do this year, or basil, already grown in a pot, is because I don't want to buy a whole packet of seed for 1 or 2 plants. You know, I don't need 100, 200 seeds in a packet. I don't need 200 plants. I just need 1, or this little pot had 4 of them. So it's really lime green right now. That will change with all the foliar feeding I'm going to do, and you're going to start seeing it turn to dark green like the parsley right next to it. Let's see. Cilantro is doing really well. Always plant cilantro. I plant it 6 times a year. So if you have a garden you have a lot of snow. Let's see. I have a friend that gardens in the snow, and he can get up to or down to, I think, 30 degrees, and the cilantro is still growing. So I never asked him if it grows when it's snow on top of it, but always plant cilantro. 6 times a year I plant seeds. And there's Lulu eating grass again. We're getting a new air conditioner. If you guys, my subscribers, know that in the summer when I'm doing my videos, you could hear the AC in the back really loud. Well, it's time for it to go. So the AC guy's coming Monday. And hopefully, I'm just going to ask, he's going to ask, what do you want? I want a quiet air conditioner. I'm going to show you something really cool right now. Let me walk around. See, this is where I would edit. So I could go over there. But why? Now you could watch, like, oh, what was that? And you might ask in the comments, what was this plant that had yellow flowers? Oh, while I'm walking here, today is the day this Fuyu persimmon that I bought that was $120. Dave Wilson Nursery Fuyu persimmon. It is dead. It like I did a previous video, it was dead from up all the way up this way. Now I do scratch tests all the way down. It's brown. So their policy is we only give half back. So I bought this tree in December. And they're only going to give me half my money back. They sold me a dead, dormant tree. I did my own scratch tests, and I noticed a lot of browning, but the bottom was still a little green. So I just said, oh, it's okay. I'll just chop it here when I bought it, and I'll have the branches come from the bottom. Nope, all of it died. So, little tidbit, when you're buying a tree, especially $120, that's not cheap, everyone. I bought that because it's already a 4-year-old tree. It was 3 years old in a pot, and it grew all season there. I should have known it was a left behind. I should have known not to buy it, but I thought they were going to give me a deal on it because it was left behind, like it was just sitting there all year. They didn't even give me a deal. So, but I wanted a Fuyu persimmon, and I didn't want to get a little sapling to start all over with because mine died, and that's my son's favorite fruit, and that was the first tree I ever bought and planted in this garden, and that's the first plant my son has ever picked the fruit from. Now you can't pick it. He just held the fruit, and I pruned the fruit off. Before I go to show you something pretty cool, I see something over here. Let's walk over there. I don't know what that is. Let's take a look. Is this a blackberry? How in the heck is a blackberry over here? What is this? Is that a blackberry, everybody? I think it's a blackberry. I didn't plant blackberry over here. Maybe they come from seed? Great. I'm going to have to dig that up. I got rid of all my blackberry plants. I had a triple crown. If you do not want an invasive plant, do not buy triple crown. I bought a black satin and a Loch Ness. Black satin was not so invasive at all. But that's something growing right there. I need to get rid of it. So here's the cool thing I want to show you. Look how shiny. I'm going to pan up so I can be more dramatic with it. Look how shiny, robust, thick, and green these parsleys are. This is the ones that I grow from seed, 8th generation now. I pick the plants that are the most robust and the best tasting and the biggest leaves, and I plant those prodigy every year, picking the best every year. Now look how bright and dark they are. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? And I do nothing, everyone. Nothing. They're just growing like crazy. I'll put it to the ground so you can see how high they are already. They're about over a foot tall. Just a blanket of flat leaf parsley. Now, it was originally Italian flat leaf parsley, but now it's really I can just name it my own. It's his 8th generation of me growing it. I don't know. The Lulu parsley, the Lulu Shantik parsley. I don't know. We'll see. Because this is probably the only thing in the world like this, because if you've seen previous videos of mine where some of the leaves become almost as big as my hand. Let's see. Finally, the Mexicola avocado, and I've got a lot of requests to make videos of the avocados. I'll be doing that soon. I just want them to become more vibrant. They really need the warmth that we had last week, because this type of weather it's not going to really grow as much, but they really need the warmth to really push growth. But it's finally flowering. I mean, it's opening up. So it's almost time for me to start putting some rosemary to attract some bees. So just every tip is flowering. Now, when you see this, the dead tips here, that's because we had a little bit of a frost, a little bit late. And I was afraid that all these beautiful flowers are going to fall off. So I draped everything with burlap, keeping this alive, the center, because I'm trying to grow out the center. That's why I cut. 2 reasons why I cut this. I cut this because I thought we were going to move. I want to take the tree with me. And another one was it was getting tall and lanky. So now it's going to be short and bushy. But that's why you see the burnt tips, because the burlap was on top of it. And here's the Zutano. Once again, this is just to pollinate the Mexicola. So this is only gonna, maybe I'll keep it this tall. It'll just be a short bush of avocado. I'll just cut it back always like this. It'll just become like a little bush, pretty much. That'll be kind of weird, but I don't want any avocados from here. I just want more cross-pollination. I have fruited from this. I have harvested fruit from this avocado in the past. Less than 1 year in the ground it fruited. But I think I could have gotten more fruit if I had a pollinator. So I got a type B. Mexicola is a type A. So here is my daughter's peach. Just doing really well. I had to tighten this back up more because the graft was a little off. This was the best one I could find. And I had a whole big selection to choose. So this is the best one. So you can see how it's curved out. So it's curving back in. So now let me know in the comments, should I let this fruit? This is what is it? March. This is only two months in the ground. Should I let it fruit, or should I thin it all out? Or should I just keep 1 or 2 peaches? So the potatoes are growing back again. I thought I got all of them out, and I was warned by another gardener in Washington that, Moses, once you plant potatoes, you're going to have potatoes for life. And I go, that sounds awesome. That's awesome. I want food for the rest of my life. Yeah, he didn't mean that. He meant that once you plant potatoes, you're going to have potatoes forever. They're never going to go away. So, it's not a bad problem, but yeah, I'm going to have to deal with that. And I'm not too worried, but I know these potatoes are going to go that way under the fence. But whatever. I don't know. They don't really take care of their yard in the back, like, at all. At all. I'm saying it low because I don't know if they're in the backyard. Raspberries are doing exceptionally well. Just beautiful. I did a video on TikTok on why I love raspberries. Not because they taste good. Of course, that's one reason. But the biggest reason is you plant one. This is the original. You see how big it's and robust it is. You plant one and you get a lot of plants, root suckers. And I know many of you might go, oh God, root sucker. Oh geez, we got it grown all the way out there, as you can see. Now that wasn't there last week. So that the warmth of last week brought them up all the way in the blueberries. So in the video on TikTok, I say what I love about raspberries, and I moved over here all the way this way. Free plants. So you could just dig this one up instead of killing it. You could dig this one up and plant it where you want more raspberries. You know, that's great. Everything's just leafing out beautifully. This is the plum. The apricots. Let's see, this is the now I prune the apricots hard. I'll show you why. So you see these, there's not much. One moment, let me walk around. See, this is where I would cut, and I'm not going to. And it feels better. I have a baby to take care of, everyone, or help take care of. I can't spend my time editing everything. So you can see it wide. You can see it's a Y, but it started to Y again. And this branch here this had so many buds, like grown out this way. So much fruit would have been produced, but it would have been so crowded that there would have been a fungal issue. So I cut all that back, as you can see. Now watch when I walk back there, and I'm going to show you, you shouldn't be afraid to do big cuts. Let me see here. Walk this way. And watch this. Look how many shoots are going to come out. Watch this. Oops. Let's see. See all that? So don't worry about a big cut. Look, here's another one. I cut the Santa Rosa plum. I was going to say prune. And there's one down there. Now that's something I don't like. That's something I don't like right there. But I'll let it grow, and hopefully it grows this way instead of towards me, because I don't want it to be growing towards me. But that's, oh sorry, what am I talking about? That's the apricot, not a plum. Sorry. Plum's right over here. See, something else I would have cut out to make me look like I'm smart all the time. But I'm not smart all of the time. Maybe 98%. But that 2%, oh man, I'm dumb. Lulu, once again, are we going to do a Lulu cam? We're going to do a Lulu cam? What's Lulu looking at now? Talk to us, Lulu. Talk to us. I guess she doesn't want to say anything. Okay, almonds are doing really well. You see them right there. You are blessed. You are blessed if you live in an area you can grow almonds. One, they're extremely nutritious. No, first, it's a beautiful tree. Beautiful flowers. Amazing flowers. And here's some right here so you can see. Now imagine the whole tree looking like that with a little almond sticking out of it. They're amazing. They're beautiful, highly nutritious. And here's the big one, and this is why I plant the things I plant. Expensive. That's why I plant all these plants are expensive. Nectarine. We're looking at the pink flowers of the nectarine here. Look at all this. Isn't that beautiful? That's the nectarine. The peach, the Santa Rosa plum, and the apricot we were talking about. It's a 4-in-1. If some of you are just watching for the first time. Nectarines are expensive. Apricots are, forget expensive. You can't even find it fresh. Forget it. Even at farmer's market, they're not even fresh. Sometimes. But we eat it green. I'm Armenian. Lebanese family descent is Lebanese, but we're Armenian. And we eat this green. So it depends on the weather, but a week to 2 weeks before Easter, and sometimes if it's cooler, a cooler spring, which I don't know actually if it's going to be a cool spring or not, because it was hot, now it's not. I'll just pan even more if you want to see more of how much this produces. It just every little tip and every little branch. Oh, look at the little ladybug. Has tons of almonds. We eat this. Now make sure you get rid of, stupid, I can't believe I left that there. You get rid of the old stuff. And I shouldn't even drop that. I should have thrown it away, but it's too late. Because that's a hollow, and bugs, especially the leaf-footed beetle or leaf-footed bug. That's my problem. They go through and they stick, basically like a needle out of their mouth. I don't know what you call it. Into these almonds, secrete a enzyme, and then suck out the baby almond. I haven't seen them yet, but my neighbor, this humongous white, well, it used to be pure white flower tree, that tall thing is an almond right there. That huge tree. Now tell me how you're going to get all the almonds off that tree. You can't. Here in the valley, because here in Central Valley we produce 90% or more of the world's almonds. There's a machine that grabs the base of the tree and shakes it. You can't go and pick all these almonds. It'll take forever. No way. And you can't use a rake like an olive. Like some parts of the world, to collect olives, I have an olive tree here and over here, they rake them. They have a rake and they rake the olives off. But you can't do that to an almond. You'll break branches. Here's a blackcurrant finally waking up. Let's see if I can get finally waking up. I don't like where I put this really, because this is where Lulu goes crazy against the fence. And finally, because of the warmth again, we have the rhubarb growing up. Thankfully, it got bit up by something a little while ago, but I just love how the plant's like all wrinkled. It's like in a little pocket, and then this humongous, it unfolds itself and this humongous leaf comes out. What, Lulu? What'd you see now? Another tip, and I've talked about it before, paint your trees. All this is painted. Paint all of them, especially in the where it Y's out right here in the branch. Paint those, because if water settles in there, rots it just a little bit, bugs get in. Paint everything you can, no matter where you live. Pears are growing really well, but this one, the next one, is growing a lot better. I'll show you right now. Or just more aggressive. So I'll just pan up. See how much growth? I love it. Perfect. Vertical growing trees, not sprawling out. I don't want a huge tree. I just want a straight. If this only stays 2 feet in each direction, like this big and growing up, that's perfect. Just to provide shade on this grass for the afternoon for my son and my dog and my daughter, and when it's really hot in the summer. There's the blueberries again. I don't know if I mentioned in my last video, the big one, the 30-minute tour, but I'll say it again. This is a blueberry, an acid-loving plant surrounded by alkaline-loving plants. So, as long as you treat your soil correctly, farm your soil, and foliar spray with seaweed and fish, like I do, on everything, you're going to do just fine. It's going to be full of blueberries. Number 2 question I always get is blueberries. Moses, I just broke a pot. Darn. Moses, I've always grown blueberries, but they always die on me. It's your soil. That's all. That's all it is. Here's some more. Growing robustly. Look at all that. There's the tamarillo. Here we go. She found something. A little bird. And I've been asked a lot as well. Here's the other tamarillo. Beautiful plant. Lulu, what are you doing? I've been asked a lot, how come I don't have chickens? Or I used to have quail, but it wasn't that it was too much work. It attracted too many rats and mice. The food, that is. So I can't have that with kids. But I get a lot of questions. How come you don't have chickens? Going through your garden. And some of you right now in your head or out loud, you said because they'll eat all the plants. The only thing they'll eat is probably the purple tree collard and the weeds. And maybe some of the herbs. I don't mind that. But the reason why I don't need chickens, except if Lulu runs through the house. This, by the way, is a subel sapote we're looking at while I'm talking. Flowering. All the little fruit. You can see those bright green fruit. The reason why I don't need chickens is because the wild birds come in. In the morning, the blue jays, the doves, sparrows, whatever bird comes by, they come through and they kick everything up, because you'll see this pathway will be all wood chips. The whole way will be wood chips. You can't even see the pavement sometimes in the spring. The winter, not so much, but in the spring, it's all wood chips, because they came through and they kicked the wood chips around to get the little roly-polies and earwigs and whatever they can find. And it's up doing really well again. This is going to grow probably another 7 feet tall more. So it'll be almost 8 feet tall again. Once again, the packet told me 3 feet. But I guess if you do wood chip mulching and seaweed and fish emulsion, yeah, it won't really matter so much. Everything will grow like crazy. Another update on the cherimoya. Just like that. It doesn't look like a mouth coming out, like a Pac-Man or something. Little growth there. Oh, that's better growth. Let me show you this. See that? Some of these will be flowers and some of them will be just leaves. I just want leaf growth right now. I thought about pruning these, even though they're growing. You see them? I thought about pruning these to get more growth. Oh, a little snail. And that doesn't worry me so much, because that's nature. They're here. Slugs and snails are everywhere. You can't stop them, but if it becomes an infestation, yeah, I may do something. I wanted to prune all this so I can have all the growth go to the top and get a really big tree, but then I thought this could protect the bark from sunburning in the summer, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's go this way now. I was going to talk about the grapes because the grapes are pushing growth, but we'll talk about my mini grape, the dwarf grape, pixie grape that is. And it's pushing out growth. I'm debating on knocking off the growth down here. I don't want and all this. I just want the top. I just want this to grow out like it is now. I don't want more branches because it's just going to get too crowded. It doesn't look like much now, but wait about 2 months and you won't even see the soil on top of the pot. The staghorn sumac is doing well. Pretty plant. It's not the white sumac, which is poisonous. Staghorn. Staghorn because it's like a deer's antler. That's why I believe they named it staghorn. It does look like an antler, huh? A little bit. Passion fruit's doing really well. Really well. Let me show you something as well. Finally, I've been waiting forever. This is an Egyptian walking onion. I cut it in half, the base, and I just took that huge, humongous bulb of onions and I planted it here and here, these 2 spots. And finally, they're taking. So this is going to produce little, like, scallions, little onions. You could either eat or let it fall down and replant itself when it gets too heavy. It'll be really bulbous, heavy, and just fall, then grow, and then a huge bulb of onions will grow on top, fall, hence walking onion. So if you love onions, which I do, and you don't want to replant every year, just buy Egyptian walking onion. Let's walk this way. Lulu's a little tired from all those imaginary animals she was chasing. And we're almost at 30 minutes now. Now, there's a reason. I'll show you right now. So this is longevity spinach. Let me close the door before Shant starts screaming. And there's a train in the background. Sean's watching TV and he might scream his favorite cartoons on. This is Okinawa spinach and longevity spinach. Okay? Passion fruit, 2 passion fruits, and another passion fruit. These are the very edible ones. These are more for robust growth, as you could tell, to provide shade in the afternoon sun that will come soon. That wicked sun. Whew. Anyways, so there's a lot of dense growth. Like you noticed the rest of my garden, it's pretty open, nice and clean, a little bit organized. There's some weed growth, but they're going to go away in about a month. But you see, this is just a mat. This gives me a little anxiety seeing something like this, but they're ground cover, so I just let it go. But before I planted these, I planted a whole bunch of onions. You see the onions everywhere? Just what do you call them? The scallion onion, or not the scallion, the bunched onion, the green onions. See all the onions everywhere? They're throughout. There's a reason. Caterpillars, from my experiment, and in my area, caterpillars hate onions. I've never had a caterpillar issue in this patch ever. When I didn't have onions, the caterpillars would be throughout the whole patch. All the longevity spinach leaves would be eaten. Or you want to eat one and has a few bites on it. You're like, oh, I don't mind. And all of a sudden you turn over the leaf and it's all caterpillar poop in the back of it, the leaf. You're like, oh, that's disgusting. I don't want to eat it. And so just festering of a home of caterpillars. I put the onions, no caterpillars. Now you see, previous to all these pulls I did, I would make that a specific video. Because now, this is towards the end. A lot of you may not have watched it this far, and you would not have found out about that cool trick. I would normally do a video about that, but maybe I still should. I probably should do one, because I feel bad if a lot of you left already. And if you haven't, if you're still here, leave a comment that I hung around this long, which is pretty cool. And please do, actually. That way I know people are watching this long. Because if nobody's watching this long, why am I doing it this long? This is a lot of work. Here is the variegated elderberry. A lot of growth from the last update. This papaya. I'm going to show you something cool right now. This is the white nectarine and so forth. Keep going, excuse me. But I'm going to show you something cool right now. I wish I did a video on it before, but you see how there's not much growth on this Pink Lady apple? I grafted a few other varieties on it, but this is Pink Lady you're looking at, or Crisp Pink, I believe the same name. You see how there's not much growth? Okay, this is an original tree. This is Pink Lady. It's not grafted Pink Lady. I mean, it is on the bottom, excuse me. But I didn't graft it myself. I bought it like this. So I took a cutting of this, and I went to my Granny Smith. Let me walk very quickly. I went to my Granny Smith, a poor pot, and I grafted it last year, I believe. Yes, last year. Sorry. And look at the growth compared. This is Pink Lady. See, the graft is right here. I painted the graft. Look at the growth. So why is a grafted Pink Lady that was severed from its mother plant grafted onto another variety producing more growth? Oh, Lulu found something again. Isn't this a pretty picture right here, everyone? Just the pink and the sapote and the green and the wood chips, and I don't know why there isn't more gardeners in the world. I really don't. And on Instagram, I'm getting a lot of messages. Moses, and I'm very serious here. Moses, you've changed my life. Moses, I was very depressed, and now that you showed me how beautiful gardening can be and how easy it can be, I'm happy again. One person even told me that, I mean, maybe they went a little too far, but because of depression, that I helped save their marriage. The man was very depressed and didn't want to be around his wife, his whole family. He planted one plum tree, and now has, I think, above 20 of them now, and he's so happy. So, and that's something I'm doing, and if you're here, you're very lucky. If you're here right now, watching this far, you are very lucky. Because, I'm going to be honest, I'm not doing any sweepstakes on YouTube or giveaways. YouTube is so horrible with the rules and regulations. Instagram isn't as strict. So I'm doing my first giveaways for small businesses that I know and I personally know, or I've known them for a long time, or they follow me. And there's mom and pop businesses that I know of that I'm doing a giveaway with, collaborating with them. So right now, well, not right now, but in a little bit here, not too long, I'm going to be starting announcing these giveaways. They're going to be on Instagram. So if you are subscribed to me here or not subscribed, follow me on Instagram, because I'm going to start doing some cool giveaways. And I feel a little bad too. I'll put in the community that, hey, head over to Instagram. But still, if you're here, that's really good for you, because you're going to get the heads up to go onto Instagram. And finally, this is the generique, the sour green Persian plum that we eat as a small plum. They grow up to be, I think, an orange sweet plum, but we eat them sour, little green, well, really green, little plum, and with salt. I like to put a little cayenne pepper, though. All right, everybody. I think that's good right here. Yeah. I'll just talk about more later on. Happy gardening.